So it's been about 4 weeks since I posted a video on what the hell has happened. Petrol prices are the same as my mortgage payments. There's civil unrest. There's military unrest. We've got now some sort of monkey sex disease, and polio is back. Seriously, I can't leave you guys alone for a minute. So welcome back to the podcast. Like I say, it's been a few weeks, actually 4 weeks since the last time I posted anything. I didn't mean to have a break. It just kind of happened. I think I was a little bit tired. I'd posted 3 videos a week for like 21 weeks and it just got a little bit crazy. And I just kind of stopped on my birthday, just kind of shut down. I hadn't even posted the last video of the Project 1046 series. So if you want to see that, here's a link to it here. It is now up. You can see how that went, just to kind of stop that. But like I say, just shut down there, man. Turned 46 for my birthday, went away for the weekend with my wife, and then just never really picked up the tools of the trade again, the camera and the podcast mics and everything. Just kind of had a great big chill. And like I say, man, stuff is crazy. Stuff is crazy. If you're like me and you're a very prudent person, and a couple of years ago you decided I'm going to get a nice big diesel family car to cart everyone around in because it's economical, you're right now feeling like the most stupid person on earth. Because petrol prices, I mean, what is it now? Like £11 a litre, £12 a litre, £13 a litre. It's like watching your rev counter, watching at petrol prices. It just goes up and up and up. It's madness. War in Ukraine still raging, although there's rumours Putin's dead, and he's been replaced by a lookalike. I don't know what's going on there. Madness, who would know? There's this monkeypox thing going around, so apparently this is the next pandemic, and we're all going to have to wear masks, even though it's only transmitted like sexually and with like physical contact. I don't know. There's even reports of polio. Polio was found in like a sewer in London or something the other day. What the hell is going on? Like I said in the intro, man, I can't leave you guys alone for a minute. Things be crazy. The world is just stepping up. There's political unrest in America. I mean, that's par for the course no matter what. In England, it's just kind of like people are kind of more depressed and disheveled than ever. There's flight chaos. There's all sorts of stuff going on. You want to go on holiday, you book your flight, you go there, they cancel your flight. If you're lucky enough to get on a flight, they send your luggage to a different part of the world. So you're going to New York, your luggage, that shit's going to Australia, man. Like, just mad stuff is going on. It seems like no one is able to get their stuff together. Everything seems a bit off. Except for one group of people, except for one section of society, which are firing on all cylinders. It must be said, whether you agree with it or not, it's going very well. Now, let me kind of back up a little bit. It's June right now. It's June. I think today is like the 28th of June or something. I don't know, somewhere in there. We're in the late 20s of June. And June, as we all know now, is Pride Month. Now, this has been around for a few years. I'm not introducing anything new here. In fact, in England, I heard they said on the news the other day that they're celebrating 50 years of Pride, that some form of celebration, moment, gathering based around this notion of pride, gay pride, trans pride, whatever it is. It's been around for about 50 years. I didn't know that. Do you know what I mean? Like, I've been around for like 46 of them, I guess. But, you know, those first like 6 years I weren't paying attention. I didn't follow up. So I've only just found out. But it's hard to not know that it's Pride Month. Because I don't know about you, like, and this is what I think has stepped up and maybe what has kind of made my eyes and my ears kind of prick up this year. Just the overload, the corporate ownership of this notion of pride. And this is how you know when an idea or an ideology or an approach to life has crossed over. When corporations who do not care about anything morally adopt your cause as a way of making profit. So I've seen this happen, man. Like, I was shopping the other day and I found out, I don't know if you know this, but there are certain cereals that support pride, and you should buy those cereals because they are good and noble. And if you buy any other cereals, you're bigot and you're a racist. I also found out there's certain toothpastes And you'll know that they support Pride because it says it'll have a flag somewhere, a rainbow flag somewhere on their packaging, and it'll say something like cleaning our teeth with pride, something like that. So you must buy that. If you don't buy toothpaste that supports Pride, you're a bigot, and you are cleaning your teeth with hate. And hate just will not it won't clean the thing. Your teeth won't be white. They'll be black, like the black hearts of every homophobe. And I've seen this kind of takeover. It's been so interesting this year, man. Hopefully I'll cut in some different things that I saw, just t-shirts and drinks and, like I say, all kinds of products and just everything, and big stands in shops saying we're celebrating, we're kind of promoting Pride. In my town where I live, there's a big John Lewis, and John Lewis is about as middle class as you can get, right? And it just sort of says, proud to be ourselves in Pride Month and all this sort of stuff. This stuff's going on. Now, when I see this happen, when I see these great corporations appropriate this movement for their own kind, I have a couple of questions, like what's going on, what's happening? And because here's the thing, I don't care in the least bit if my cereal is homophobic or not. I don't care if my toothpaste is racist. I don't care if my shoelaces only believe in binary groups. Like, I don't care about products I buy, honestly. Now, I'm not going to go out of my way to support companies that are doing mad stuff, but generally in the throe of life, especially in this massive expenses, cost of living kind of mirage, this crisis created by governments, but we're told Putin did it, but whatever. In this position we're at the moment where everything costs so much and inflation's so high, I'm not looking to see if there's a rainbow flag on something before I'll buy it. My question is it cheap? Is it cheap? Is it fresh? Do I like it? I don't really care about my deodorant company's position on marriage. These are not the questions. This is not the criteria I'm going in with. Now, if you tell me, look, that this packet of biscuits here supports Pride and therefore they are infinitely more dunkable in your tea, that there's a 2 times dunkable factor for every Pride biscuit, I'm in. If you tell me that because of Pride Month, these Pride biscuits have got double the chocolate and half the calories, I'm in. If that's the deal we're doing, that's it. I'm in. I'm priding up, man. Stick the nipple clamps on me. Show me where the march is. I'm going. I'll wave a flag. I'll do everything. But that's not what's happening. What we're seeing is the infiltration of an ideology into corporations and profit-making entities who realise that there's some advantage, some leverage to be used by using this word pride. And it got me thinking because, it's very interesting, this word pride. Now, forgive me for not, and maybe someone needs to tell me in the comments, you need to message me and tell me where this comes from, but this notion of pride is something that it does strange things in my mind, you see, because I come from a long line, a tradition where pride is not always looked on in the most favourable light. I come from a tradition where there is a parable, a story told of someone who is invited to a banquet, a large meal with all kinds of people there. And what they do is they arrive there and they get there early and they see the table laid out with all the feast, and they walk up and they take the highest seat on the table. And the story is that you shouldn't look to do that off your own accord. You shouldn't be puffed up and think, well, I'm very important, I should go and sit at the top of the table. Because if someone more important than you comes in, then the host will have to say to you, I'm sorry, can you move down the table a little bit? And you would suffer shame or loss or embarrassment. That the thing to do is to embrace humility and take a lower place on that table, because then the host may come in and go, hey, Rick, why are you always down the end of the table? Matt, Rick, come up here, come sit next to me. And you get lifted up. So this is a tradition I come from. There is a verse in, I think, Proverbs that says that God opposes the proud but gives grace to the humble. A notion of that pride can sometimes, being puffed up and full of yourself, can get you into some trouble, and it's not always the most attractive thing about a person. If you've ever met a person who's very loud about themselves and very full of pride and thinks a whole lot of themselves, even if they're kind of right about themselves in the sense of their abilities, it's quite a horrible trait. I think we're much rather drawn, and we've talked about this in previous podcasts about humility and stuff. We're more attracted to, drawn to people who have some humility. So we understand that. So I come into this and I see gay pride, and I'm like, oh, this is interesting, because this is not my kind of way of thinking about things. It's not my approach. There's also another saying, and I don't know, I can't remember what tradition it's from, where it even comes from, but hopefully you would have heard this saying: pride before a fall. Pride before a fall. You heard this saying? And that is to say that when you're full of yourself and puffed up, and you're self-promoting, that oftentimes you're going to slip. Oftentimes that's a bad recipe, or maybe a good recipe for trouble, for failure. So I look at this month and I see the braggadociousness of it, the pride and the full, we're proud, and I understand maybe what they reach for, but the language for me is strange. It's pushy. It's weird. Like I don't know if you saw, like, also part of the Christian tradition is we have some ownership of the rainbow, or rather we had some ownership of the rainbow. And again, you got to hand it to them, man. A little while ago, I guess the gay movement came in, and they did a bit of cultural appropriation, and they took that, give me that rainbow flag, and they dust that out of the hands of the Christians, and they said, we're going to have this. And the rainbow flag became this flag that represented that movement, and became about inclusivity and all the different colours working together and all that. And you say what you want about it, but they did it. NHS kind of had a little proper actual rainbow, but But I don't know if you've seen this year a slight difference this year. And it might have been around for a while, but I only saw it. Only came across my desk, if you like, this year. The Pride Progression flag. Did you see it? It's this. Check this out, man. Here's the old Pride flag. And here's the Pride Progression flag. And you see that? Now, this is some pushy flag. I have the impression here that something is pushing in from the side. And it's just kind of going, hey, gay movement. Hey, old pride movement, like, hold my beer. We got it from here. And this is a sense of this movement coming in from the side in like a pincer maneuver, just coming in and pushing out. There is a quite an aggressive notion in there, and I find it interesting. I find it like I'm looking and I'm seeing Pride Month celebrated in schools and nurseries and in news segments and in programs, and like I say, in supermarkets and businesses, and I see police officers with trans badges and cars painted fully kind of like fully rainbow flagged up, fully prided up, and I find it very interesting. Like, it's, how did we get here? What's going on? Who orchestrated this, and why? Why is this going on? It seems to me there's never been a bigger push than right now for the acceptance of this whole movement of trans and all the gender questions and all the stuff that comes along with it, the weirder stuff. Well, that's all weird, but the weirder stuff like the two spirit and the animal spirit and the animal kin and the pans and the gender queers and undecideds and the cuboids and I know, whatever, just a whole bunch of stuff in there. It seems like there's never been a moment like this where it is almost aggressive. It is being pushed in from the side, like, come on, man, we're going to get this thing. We're going to get this thing done. And it's made me start to reflect on things, because hands up, for most of my life, I've been someone who is fairly binary. I've had ideas of a man and a woman. I've had ideas of the correct approach, that I guess a more traditional view of marriage is between a man and a woman. That's been the way it's been in my mind for a long time. But I'm not so sure that I am as binary as I thought I was. I think for a long time I've actually held a very nuanced, very particular non-binary view. I'd like to tell you a little bit about it. And I've not spoken about this with friends and family and people because I think a little bit of fear, a little bit of when you begin to talk into this stuff, you're not able to share it because of that fear. So you live it out in secret and you hold these views in secret. But here's my take. Like I say, I used to be, and again, this is from my tradition. And I say tradition because I'm trying to win that word back. I used to hate tradition, to think that who cares about traditions? Who cares about these things? Do you know what I mean? I hate that old dead stuff. But I understand now that some of it can be redeemed well. But I come from that long line of men and women of faith. And we believe, and based on from an old creation story, a creation poem, we believe that God created the earth and God created people. And here's the thing. Man and woman, or male and female, he created them. And that's where people get this binary view of man and woman, right? These are the sexes. These are the genders right here, right? Man and woman, he created them. And that's used to be where I stand, like I say. But I think I have to admit there is a shift or a recognition of something deeper than that. Because the scripture actually goes, male and female, he created them. In his image, he created them. So there's somewhere in here, there's a third way. There's a third way. I'm a man. My wife's a woman. We got together, we got married. We had babies. We had 2 baby girls. And they are now both girls. Like my wife is a girl, a woman, like I'm a boy, a man. But there's a third way for us where actually we are created in God's image. I think it can be dangerous when the leading representation of who you are is based around your sexuality. That's a problem. That's a problem. Like I'm heterosexual, using the labels of the time, right? I'm a heterosexual man. I've never introduced myself as such. I've never promoted myself as such. I don't feel I've ever gained or lost anything as such. Where I decide what I do with my body and who I do it with is just, it's secondary to the meanness of me. So I guess part of this movement, gay pride, trans pride, whatever pride, we're basically trying to say that our choices of who we want to be intimate with and the intimate actions we take, that they're going to be out front, they're going to be the foremost thing about us. I don't think so. I think there's a deeper thing. Firstly, you're a man or you're a woman. And then higher than even that, higher than that gender, is I'm a man and a woman made in the image of a creator. That somehow, whether I'm proud or ashamed of who I am, whether I'm embarrassed and unsure, or very, very proud and very, very, very certain about who I think I am, really that should be subservient to who I was created to be, how God made me, because I'm made in his image. I'm made to exhibit things of him. Man, woman, male and female, he created them. In his image, he made them. So I guess for me, I'm looking at this whole thing, and like I say, outside of jokes and funny things about cereal and biscuits and toothpaste and stuff, and outside of just seeing the corporate grab, and in a few years, it'll be something else, you know. But outside of all that, I see this thing of pride, and pride in some, maybe not superficial, but compared to the deepness of how you were created, they're secondary. I see people raising that up. I'm a gay man. I'm a trans woman. Whatever it is. I see that and I go, you're leading with something that's actually probably secondary to your real nature. And I'd rather have a conversation about that. I'd rather lead the conversation about that stuff, if we're allowed to talk about this stuff at all. Anyway, that's me, man. In and out, pretty quick. I guess went pretty deep. And here's the thing. I'm going to have a deeper conversation about this with a friend of mine who is a questionologist. This is someone who studies the power, effect, and usage of questions to get at the real root of things. So the next podcast will be me kind of actually talking about some of this stuff again, but calling out some things I see in society and what's going on at the moment, and then a chance for my friend to kind of just hit back and just maybe offer us approach to have dialogue with anyone about anything, and not fall into the camps of aggression and violence that sometimes comes along with these sorts of conversations. Anyway, do me a solid, will you? Would you take a moment to like and subscribe and press the little bell icon and select all, leave a comment, do all that good stuff. If you want to find out anything more about a podcast, jump onto theflatearthpodcast.com, and there you'll find out lots more about what we do, previous episodes and all that. Again, sorry for a little bit of a gap, but that's how it goes. I've actually been really busy as well. We're about to launch a new channel, the ABC of EDC. So filming loads of content for that has been a bit of a struggle, relearning how to film products, and it's just been a different thing, but that'll be launching very soon. So we've been busy. Bless you guys. Thanks for listening if that's what you've been doing, and have a great time until next time. Cheers. Later, yeah.